All right. Well, welcome everyone and good morning. My name is Amy Semesco. I am the academic strategy leader for AdventHealth Outpatient Services. So that includes everything outside of our hospitals. Today, we're going to be talking with our leaders from those areas to learn more about career opportunities. We have some questions picked out, and I'm going to prompt our panelists to give us some more information about their areas. And we'll be speaking with sports medicine and rehab, Centra Care, home care, hospice, and well 65 plus. Our hope and goal today is that you will join us a week from today at our Career Expo that's dedicated to our outpatient services. So all of these organizations will be represented, as well as AdventHealth Medical Group. And that is next week, next Tuesday from 9 to 3 at our Innovation Tower just north of downtown on Rollins Street. I'm going to get us started here and have our team members introduce themselves. We can go in alphabetical order to make it easy for everyone. So Angela, then Eric, Carrie Ann, Sheila, and then Terry. So Angela, you can kick us off.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Angela Perez. I'm the Director of Clinical Services here at AdventHealth Hospice. I've been here for about 17 years now at the same location. Our campus is located in Altamont Springs, but we also have 2 inpatient units, one inside the AdventHealth Orlando Hospital, and we just opened one last week down in Kissimmee Hospital. So welcome.
Sorry, I got to take myself off mute. My name's Eric Specht. I'm a physical therapist, and I am an operations director with Outpatient Sports Med and Rehab. I've been a physical therapist for about 25 years and probably spent 20 of those years in some type of leadership position. As far as our department, we have about 40 clinics throughout Central Florida, ranging from Palm Coast in the north, all the way down to Lake Wales in the south and everywhere in between, especially the Orlando area. We provide PT, OT, speech, audiology, massage, wellness, and probably every specialty within all of those things.
Okay. Hi, good morning. My name is Carrie Ann. I am a clinical manager with AdventHealth Home Care. I've been with Advent now for about 15 years. I'm in the home care division. We specially treat our homebound patients, our older population who have difficulty with medical issues or ambulation. We offer nursing, speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and home health aid to those patients.
Hi, my name is Sheila Tillman. I am, can you hear me, Amy? I'm not sure if you can
I
hear me.
can. Yeah,
Okay,
you're a little
sorry.
soft.
Okay, I'm like, okay. Hi, my name is Sheila Tillman. I am the Director of Operations at Well 65 Plus. We do focus on the 65 plus community, patients with Medicare or Medicare Advantage insurance payers. We focus on quality versus quantity. So we see less patients per day, but we do spend more time with our patients. We avoid patients going to the hospital, so we make sure to service their needs and we triage them immediately. We have same day appointments. We currently started out with 5 clinics this year. We have 4 more to go to open up. And by the end of 2023, we will have 9 locations and more to come for 2024. So I am here. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry D. I am the Clinical Education Manager for Centra Care. We have many urgent care locations, about 55 ranging multi-state, Kansas, North Carolina, as well as Central Florida, as far north as Palm Coast, all the way down to Malabar, and then stretching across the I-4 corridor to West Florida with all of our Tampa locations as well. And we actually have a new location scheduled to open in June over in Melbourne. So many opportunities within Centra Care, urgent care. We do all kinds of urgent care type services, including X-ray. Our centers do a lot of community events, occupational health, corporate physicals, back to school physicals, and just really a great resource to serve the community. So good to see everyone.
Thank you all for your introductions. So a couple of housekeeping items for our attendees, and I know we've already started to populate some questions into the chat, so keep that coming. Later on, as we go through our questions, we'll be able to address those and answer those for you. Your mics are on mute, but again, please feel free to ask questions of our panelists here today, and we'll be getting to those shortly. So to get us started, and I think some of you touched on this a little bit to kick us off, but can you tell us more about the patients that you serve and the patients that you work with within your areas? Angela, do you want to start us off?
Absolutely, sure. So hospice patients are all terminal. So our patients have a 6 months or less prognosis in order to elect their hospice benefit. Our patients are served, I did mention the 2 inpatient units in Orlando and Kissimmee. We have an inpatient unit here in Altamont. There's 16 beds. Those patients that we serve in their units are more in a crisis at the end of life. They may have unmanaged symptoms, things that need a nursing intervention like every hour. So we would try to get them stabilized and then move them back to their home. It's not a place where they live. However, multiple people do come and obviously pass away there. The others, I have today about 646 patients in homes and nursing homes and assisted living. So I have 7 teams of staff that visit all 3 counties, Osceola, Orange, and Seminole, and we visit their patients from their place that they live, whether it's their home, their SNF, or their assisted living facility. And we provide a nurse, a social worker, chaplains, and CNAs, and a physician to all of our patients in the community.
Great. Eric, can you share with us more about the patients that we see in sports med and rehab?
Sure. So we see, a wide variety of patients. We have specialties in neuro, ortho, pediatrics, pelvic therapy, lymphedema, concussion. We have our wellness people that come in for one-on-ones with our EPs. And we have massage therapy that is really just a service that anybody can access. And really it's a wide range of acuity levels. So it's people that, the tiniest little babies that are just working on feeding to the sports athlete that we're treating at the training center. So it's really a wide variety of patients, but all outpatient-based services, and they're in individual clinics.
Fantastic. Sheila, I think you touched on the well 65 plus population that you all care for. Do you want to give us any more insight into the level of care that they get when they come into one of the clinics?
Absolutely. We have, again, it's 65 plus is our patient base, but we're primary care physician. So we do basically everything, right? We are, we take care of our patient. We do our labs, we draw their labs, we do EKGs in the office. We basically really do focus on overall patient care. When we say we manage their patient care, we manage everything. We communicate with the specialists if we have to refer them out. You would see that for the most part, we take care of the patient, but we also talk to the family and the children and everyone else that's involved in that patient's care. We have nice sized wellness suites that we can fit everyone in, and we have everyone involved. We have social workers, and we also have 2 health coaches, which basically are medical assistants per physician at each location. We have about 4 providers at each doctor's office, and we triage same day. So for the most part, it's an overall experience for the patient. We do try to take care of overall mental and body. We focus on everything with our patient care. Sorry, I know that it looks like I'm a little soft, so I'm trying to see if I can turn up the mic a little bit.
Great. All right. Carrie, you want to share with us just a little bit more about urgent care?
Mine is home care. So we cater to those patients who they leave the facility, the hospitals, and they're homebound, meaning that it takes extra effort to them to leave the home, or it requires an assistance to leave the home. Our patients range from 18 or older. We don't do any pediatrics, and we cover area like from Mount Dora, as north as Mount Dora to Sanford, all the way down to Kissimmee, St. Cloud, and a little bit of Ponciana. So we offer nursing services. Teaching is our big thing. Teach and train is very big with home health care because we are not in the home for a very long period of time. So with us, we teach the family and the caregivers how to best manage their family members' medical condition or whatever care is needed. So from a speech therapy wise, most people think it's just having to do with swallowing, but it's also teaching the family and the patient, how to manage their disease process, because a lot of our population also have, cognitive issues. So how to manage that, how to avoid caregiver burnout, physical therapy, teaching not only functional physical therapy things, but also having to do with lymphedema or any kind of vestibular treatments. On our occupational therapy, they do an amazing job. I usually tell my patients this when I was out in the field. Just think of it this way: occupational therapy deals with the upper half, physical therapy deals with the lower half. And so we have great clinicians who provide excellent care and teach and training to the family and the patients. And then we have our home health aides who are also CNAs, who kind of work hand in hand with our occupational therapists to, help the family know how to safely bathe and transfer and take care of their family members.
All right, and we'll talk to Terry here from Centra Care just about the patients that they see within their locations too.
Yeah, I kind of touched base on our locations because we're all over the place here in Florida for sure. And but the nice thing about Centra Care being urgent care is we see whoever walks in the door. So no matter the age, no matter the situation, the community knows that they can walk in the door at Centra Care and be seen. Now, it doesn't mean we can do everything that may need to be done for that patient, but we can certainly get them pointed in the right direction and support them with their care. It's a great resource to the community, and especially for people entering into the medical field. It's a wonderful opportunity to get a variety so that you can learn a little bit more and maybe find your true passion with a certain population. Some people come in and they really like to work at our pediatric clinics. We have, like I said, when you open the doors up to the community, you never know what walks through. So it can be urgent care type patients. We also help establish primary care. Some of our Centra Cares actually have primary care locations attached to the building. There are a few standalones as well, but we work hand in hand with a lot of employers around that particular clinic. So like our clinic out at Lake Buena Vista works a lot in partnership with Walt Disney World. And so we do a lot of corporate care, back to school physicals, sport physicals. We have x-ray services on site. So for those individuals that might be at the football game and hurt their ankle while they're playing the game, they can come into Centra Care and we can get them, set up to either follow up with ortho, give them some crutches. And we're just really that in between when their provider might be closed over the weekend or after hours, we can be a resource to them. And of course, to the community. I really enjoy some of our community events that we'll do at a variety of our centers, where we pop up a tent in the parking lot and we will just offer free flu shots and just be a resource to those individuals that are new to Orlando, which we all know is constantly there's somebody moving here. So it's a great facility for the community to be aware of, to kind of help facilitate their care. And like I said, we do back to school stuff, we do corporate stuff, urgent care, primary care. So a little bit of everything.
Thank you so much. I know I'm seeing some questions about what are we hiring for? Are we hiring for medical assistants? Let's talk about what roles we're going to be looking to see next week at our career event at the Innovation Tower. Terry, if you want to kick us off, I'll go back to you since you're up at front and center on our screen.
Awesome. Yeah, we have MA and LPN positions for our urgent care. We also provide X-ray services. So of course, those individuals that have their BMO license, RT licensure. So the clinical role primarily rotates around the MA, LPN, and then X-ray services. So we're definitely looking for that. We also have the front of the house. So for those individuals that are more interested in doing the registration piece, we have those roles as well. But we have, if you have your X-ray license, we'd love to sit down and talk with you for sure. And then of course your MA certification, we welcome the opportunity to speak with you as well.
Okay, I'll go back to Carrie Ann. What is home care looking for next week at our open career event?
Okay, so we'll be looking for physical therapists and part-time CNAs. That's where our focus currently is. So those are the two areas, the two positions.
Great. Eric.
We will be looking for primarily physical therapists, occupational therapists, and speech language pathologists. But we also would be interested in our front office positions. So we call them PBRs, and our techs. So we have exercise techs that are working in the back with the patients as well. We also would be happy to talk to any massage therapists or exercise physiologists.
Fantastic. Sheila, what are you going to be hiring for next week?
Can you hear me a little bit better? Hopefully.
That is good. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
We are currently have our 5 locations. We have one in Daytona, Winter Park, Celebration, Zephyr Hills, and Eustis. Those practices are open right now. We're actually hiring for health coaches, where it's medical assistants. We're hiring for case management, which would be our RNs. We have I think 1 or 2 social worker positions open. But again, for the other new locations coming up, there would be in Sanford and Altamont, in Tampa, and Winter Garden. So we have a variety, all the new clinics are coming on. We're still for those clinics, we are hiring for welcome coordinator, referral, which would be care coordinator for us. And then of course, health coaches, which would be the medical assistants. So we have an array of positions open right now at every single clinic. So we're in good shape.
Great. And Angela, what are you looking for next week?
Quite a few positions open. I'm looking for certified nursing assistants. I have a few of those positions open across the 3 counties. I need a social worker down in the Kissimmee area. I have multiple registered nurse positions open, case management, which is a Monday through Friday, no weekends. I have admissions RNs, which do like 4 10-hour shifts. I need referral specialists, which are like an office administrative assistant type of position. We have night shifts, we have day shifts. So I've got plenty. We're growing.
Great. And all of these positions too are currently posted on our career page. So if anyone isn't able to attend next week, you are welcome to go on and apply directly to those positions. Love to hear a little bit about, what a typical day looks like for clinicians in in your areas of business. Eric, do you want to kick us off with what it's like for PT, OT, or speech therapist in one of our clinics?
Sure. So our clinics are open, kind of our normal hours are about 7 to 7. Some of our clinics open a little bit earlier at 6 a.m. Most of our clinics are open Monday through Friday, but we also do have, we have clinics in our health parks that are open on Saturday and Sunday. So a typical day would be, coming in, organizing, reviewing notes for a physical therapist, I'd say. Reviewing, organizing notes, talking with your staff, trying to figure out how to coordinate things best for the day. Treating pretty much all day. Of course, you get lunch and breaks and things, and then really contacting physicians, having those kind of relationships where you're coordinating the care kind of across the board with the whole care team. And so you really are kind of in charge of your patients.
That's great. Sheila, do you want to talk a little bit about how things are different for your health coaches and the appointments that they see for their patients and how they differ from what we may experience?
Absolutely. We have for Well 65, when you walk in, you get greeted by a welcome coordinator. It's not a regular check-in person. Usually they'll let the health coach in the back know that they're here. The health coach would actually take them to the back. Now we have health coaches that are medical assistants, but we have health coaches that are licensed practical nurses as well. So we do have a little mix of both. Each physician has 2 health coaches that actually work with them. So they bring the patients in, they don't let them sit in the lobby for too long, maybe a couple minutes. They're welcome, they're brought straight to the back. We see anywhere between 13 to 15 patients max per day. Our visits are about maybe 30 minutes to 60 minutes at tops. Like I said, we do like to spend a lot of time with our patients, but our health coaches, they do the vaccines, they do regular vital signs, they'll do just typical medical assistant job duties. Nothing too much, but it's just a matter of taking the time with them, making sure that they got their mammograms done, making sure that they got their colonoscopies done, making sure that they're doing total overall health. And then the physician comes in and meets with the patient. And then the health coach actually checks the patient out in the room with the patient, and they walk them out so they don't have to stop anywhere. They do all that in the room with the patient, and then they just walk them out.
Fantastic. So Angela, I'm curious if you would be open to sharing with the group how you got into healthcare and how you chose hospice. Just to tell us a little bit more about that and why AdventHealth as well.
Sure. Well, I was about 18 years old and my boyfriend at the time was in a terrible car accident. He was run over by a car, actually. So I was taking care of him for many months. And I just remember going to the doctors with him and they were like, you should be a nurse. And I was like, really? So I was like, okay. So I went to be a medical assistant and I did that for a while in a pediatrician's office. And then working in the pediatrician's office, the pediatrician was like, why aren't you a registered nurse? Like, you need to go to nursing school. So I was like, oh, okay. So I have to go to nursing school. So then I went to nursing school. And so then I started with the emergency room. I went from the emergency room to oncology. And I worked at Florida Hospital at the time, Altamont. And I was driving past this building where I currently work every day. I would say Hospice of the Comforter, and I drive by and I was sort of like, I wonder what is that all about? And so one day I stopped in, and I'm still working at Altamont on the oncology unit with cancer patients, but I stopped in and I met a chaplain actually opened Hospice of the Comforter in 1994, and just felt compelled to be here. And he started talking to me about the reward there is. And he told me something I've never forgotten. I say it all the time, was that the work that we do is working in heaven's waiting room. And I was like, well, that's a privilege. It's like a gift. So I ended up staying here talking to him, and I ended up leaving with a TB test in my arm and a full-time job. And I had to drive back to Altamont and say, I'm so sorry. But I have a calling, I have to go. And eventually Florida Hospital bought out the Hospice of the Comforter organization. And, we were always a spiritual entity because we were owned by a chaplain, and the work that we do obviously is very spiritual. But working for AdventHealth really made me feel whole. I have the opportunity to, my mind, my body, and my spirit. So AdventHealth has been such a blessing to me because I can extend my faith every day at work, every day. I can pray with patients, I can pray with my team. So that is the main reason why I've been in this campus at this building for 17 years.
That's beautiful. And you're back with us where you kind of, not where you got started, but kind of bringing you back. So that's awesome. I want to hear a little bit about, what makes your service line an amazing place to work and what keeps you there. Carrie Ann, would you like to share with us?
Sure. I also started off at Altamont Oncology, and I didn't really know much about home care that Advent offered. At the time, it was separated. So for me, what makes home care different or special to me is that I get to follow through with my patients. So when I was out in the community, it was like, okay, we're trying to keep them home. We're trying to make them, feel more in control of their own health and, just creating a more one-on-one relationship. And that's home care really is a relationship because they're trusting you to, help them take care of their family, help them take care of themselves. So what keeps me coming back every day is just basically serving my community, because whether it's Mondora, Sanford, or Kissimmee, every day I know I'm making a difference. It's not just, even though I'm now in the office, I still talk to the patients on the phone. I still help my clinicians when they reach out and say, hey, I'm in a home, but I'm not sure what to do here. It does me good, and it makes me feel fulfilled each and every day to be able to say, okay, I made a difference, whether it's by a phone call or, by putting in new visit sets. It makes me feel good to know that I'm serving others. I'm doing what I'm called to do.
That's great. Thank you. Eric, what makes AdventHealth Sports Med and Rehab a great place to work, and what has kept you there for your time with us?
So I've been here about 14 years now, and I would say it's the people, the people I work with, the teams. They're all so caring, also focused on doing things better than we've done it. And that doesn't mean we'll ever be perfect, but it's that drive to always be better. I also think all the opportunities that AdventHealth offers us, it's just amazing. You can hear from some of the other people. They started in one department, they're in another department now. There's just so many opportunities to go into leadership. There's so many opportunities to really fulfill your passion. And so I think that's that's what keeps me here. That's what drives me is the people, and then just so many opportunities to do what you love to do. So.
That's great. Terry, I'd love to hear more from you about how our mission at AdventHealth, extending the healing ministry of Christ, has really impacted your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, AdventHealth's mission pretty much validates my choice to become a nurse every day. This is a second career for me, and I really just wanted to go in a direction that I felt like I was making a difference, and to work for an employer that encourages this kind of compassion that our mission states. It's literally painted on the walls of our buildings. To work for a company that encourages that kind of compassion it's really priceless. It validates that need that personally for me to just, do for others. You know, I watched the amazing care my grandmother went through, and you know, it really just had a profound impact on me and why I became a nurse. And then when I remember going through new hire orientation with AdventHealth, and I couldn't believe that I was working for a company like this. So, you know, this company, even though personally I'm involved with urgent care, which the whole idea is to, you know, get that patient quickly seen. But with every patient we see, whether it's, you know, somebody coming in for a back to school physical or, you know, corporate physical, something, you know, sinuses, whatever the issue is, we also ask them, you know, we do a spiritual wholeness survey on every single patient. And it's the thing about Advent is that we, of course, want to address the physical need of the patient, but we also want to be a resource for the spiritual well-being. And, you know, to work for a company that encourages that kind of love and compassion to everyone walking through the door, it's had a profound impact on me. And, you know, I just know that I'm making a difference in other people's lives, because people know they can walk in the door and, you know, be seen, be heard, and they know that there will be a resource available to them for whatever they may need.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Terry. All right, let's talk a little bit about our event next week and give some tips and thought to what really helps a candidate set out or really helps them set themselves apart from other candidates at these sorts of events. So yeah, Terry, if you want to reflect a little bit about that, that would be awesome.
You know, I actually love speaking with candidates that just have excitement for caring for others. You know, just that eagerness that just comes through and shines through. You know, really, that's our goal. You know, we're part of a team at these clinics and at the different healthcare facilities that AdventHealth offers. And just being a part of a team with that one goal of caring for the patient that you're dealing with. Just seeing that excitement with someone that's looking for a new career or looking to join the team, that really speaks to me. And, you know, so I just encourage those that are looking to go into the field, you know, be excited, because it's a journey and you're going to learn a lot, and just let that shine through.
That's great. Sheila, do you have any advice for our potential candidates next week?
I agree with Terry. Like, sometimes when you're just excited, be yourself. You know, if you're genuinely looking for a wonderful place to work at, I think AdventHealth is amazing. I've seen a lot of, you know, I like my teams and each and every single clinic, they actually like each other. They actually do outdoor activities with each other. They actually, they're friends outside of work. So if you're going to come in, just make sure you come in with a smile, come in with your resume, and, you know, be ready to join a family if that's what you're looking for. But I think that, you know, be genuine and just, you know, be excited.
Great. Carrie Ann, any other thoughts or advice you have?
Sorry, that mute button. I just echo, you know, what my team members are saying here. You know, positive attitude, being yourself. You know, coming knowing that with home healthcare, it's gonna, you know, require some flexibility and some independence. So, you know, just show us, you know, who you are, and because that's what our patients look forward to seeing every week when you visit them, who you are and that positive attitude.
Fantastic. Now, I know not all of our groups here today that are represented are hiring for new grads, but I know that we do have some, one being sports medicine and rehab, and the other being Centra Care. Terry and Eric, I'd love to hear advice that you would give to someone who is just coming out of a program and ready to start their career.
You want to go first, Terry?
Sure. I guess the main thing that I would say is just be patient with yourself. It can be very overwhelming, just because when you're going into healthcare, especially, I reflect on urgent care because that's what I know very well. But before this, I worked in, an emergency room. And so a very similar environment in some regards, but it can be overwhelming. So, I just be patient with yourself and, know your resources, ask questions, and just honestly commit yourself to being a lifelong learner, because the medical field is always changing, and just, embrace that. And just, know that you're going to continue to grow, continue to learn, and you'll never know where you end up. AdventHealth is a huge company, and if you do join our organization, you will see such opportunity and such potential for growth. And so you may think that you want to specialize in one situation or one, population or field, and then you find yourself with the doors opening up, going in a completely different direction. And I think that's what is so exciting about the medical field, is that you just never know where you will end up. But just be patient with yourself and don't get overwhelmed, because there's a lot to learn, and you'll never know it all. So I think if we approach things in that regard, that's a great way to, especially when everything is new, when you're just graduating, I think that's a good way to kind of look at things. Just ask questions and be open to learn.
That's great. Eric, would you add anything to that?
Sure. I first I wanted to agree with Terry. I think that patience piece, be patient with yourself, is some really good advice, because you're going to come into this and you have all the knowledge in your head. You know how to do it. You probably just aren't going to be very efficient at it. And so having some patience with yourself, that first year out of school is all about continuing to learn how to do things efficiently. And then I would say for our clinicians, focusing on that school was the basics, and then just continuing your education, get better and better at what you do. Always have that drive to be a continuous learner, I think is very important. And then I would say relationships. So if I could give anybody advice across the board, it would be relationships. So you're going to be part of a team in healthcare. Having those relationships with the people that you're working with immediately, in other departments, physicians, if you're a physical therapist, the physician, the patient, just knowing that developing those relationships is very important.
That's fantastic. Couple other things that we want to talk about. We've talked about continuously learning. I think we learn something new every day in healthcare, whether you're clinical or non-clinical. But we offer a lot of support so that you can continue to learn in advanced degrees and, go on and get certifications. Let's see, how about Angela, would you like to speak to some of the tuition support that's offered through Advent, and specifically for hospice?
I think all of AdventHealth has tuition reimbursement. I can speak specifically for my entity, but we are currently, so right now I have 3 certified nursing assistants whom I've approved for their registered nurse program. And so 3 of them have entered. One of them has already done all her prereqs. All of that's been covered and paid for while she's continuing to work here. And then 2 more are going to start the program. We also have, for our social workers, have to be master's prepared social workers. They don't have to be licensed, but we do offer a monthly stipend to help them cover the cost of getting licensed, because they have to do what's called supervision hours. So we will offer them some bonus monies towards this licensure. We currently also have 2 registered nurses that are moving towards their nurse practitioner, their advanced practice. So because we do have a whole nurse practitioner program that we use for our patient care. So currently I don't know, we might be just using all the money, but we love to help everyone see what their goal is and their vision. So I approve. I've never denied anyone's tuition reimbursements.
That's fantastic. I know we have a lot of support for that, and we have some great programs throughout the organization, including some debt-free tuition programs, which are really helpful. I think it takes away that burden for, the individual that wants to go on and get their bachelor's or master's. So we're really excited about that. And all those benefits are available on the first day of employment, which is something that is really exciting too. I want to talk a little bit about, what things that happen within, your facility or clinic to help boost morale. Healthcare can be really hard, but tell us a little bit about, just some things maybe that your team does, Angela, that help, keep them, focused on their mission and what they do every day.
So I call myself the fun bus. Like, who wants to get on the bus? So like just last week, we took a bunch of team members. We all met at Aloma Bowling, because the guy at Aloma Bowling will give you a discount if you have more than 10 people. So we did a bowling night. The doctors came. There was a bunch of people that came. We had so much fun. But every quarter, what we do here at Hospice is we have a foundation that patients donate money to, because of course, when somebody passes away, the families, they don't know how to give thanks, for the care that was provided. And, staff members can't take monetary donations or tips, so that families can donate that money to the organization. And what we do is give that back to the staff. And so we'll do, like next week, we're having an ice cream social. We will do, like, I made everybody little Easter baskets. So we just try to do things directly to the staff members to give them thanks. We will sometimes go to a Dunkin' Donuts and let the staff drive by and grab a donut and a coffee, or Jeremiah's. So we do a lot every quarter for the staff to give back for the care that they're providing. And it's fun. We have a great time.
That's great. That's great. I know we're all serving our patients, but let's talk a little bit about what we do within our various organizations to give back to the communities where we are. Carrie Ann, would you like to kick us off?
I would love to. So for home health care, we do participate in all the different activities that AdventHealth offers, whether it's the walking or any kind of community event where they're doing any kind of outreach. We do participate in that as well. So our giving back is going to those bigger events, because our patients are so spread out across Central Florida. So that's where we get our opportunity to kind of give back, when we participate in those events.
That's great. Sheila, what about you all? How is Well 65 Plus giving back to our community?
Well, we actually, a few months ago, the entire admin team, we participated at 2 senior citizens, and we held up we did the entire bingo game. We did the calling out, we did the prizes. We actually had a really good time. I came in with a blue wig, everyone came in with wings, and we just had a really good time with the people there at the Senior Citizen Center, and they loved it, and we actually really enjoyed it. So we're constantly trying to go out there and help them out, and just trying to at least be with them and, have a little fun with them. And then so we did buy all the bingo prizes that we handed out, but we had a really good time. So we're constantly working on new ways of trying to go out there to the community and try to give back as much as we can.
That's great. I know Terry mentioned some of the flu shot clinics that Centra Care holds. I know the sports medicine and rehab, we see them at all of the local races and events through Track Shack. So we're actively involved in giving back to our community members, even if they're not our patients. Let's talk a little bit about work-life balance. Carrie Ann, what does that look like for your team members?
Well, we're blessed because with home health care, we have that flexibility to see our patients, and we make the appointments to see our patients. So sometimes if we need to begin, so our hours are usually 8:30 to 5. But if we need to, maybe take our children to a doctor's appointment or have appointments for ourselves, we're able to start later in the day. And then work later on if needed, or, we have flexibility where if you need a day off during the week, you can either work a Saturday or Sunday to make it up. So, there's a lot of flexibility and independence. It's just managing that, making sure that you're saying, okay, I need this time for myself, but I still want to make sure I'm still serving my patients. So, it's managing that flexibility. So you always have that opportunity to, help for yourself, provide help for yourself or your family.
That's great. We are getting close to our time. I want to touch on one thing too, because I'm sure our attendees have noticed we all have our name badges on. And just want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that's something that's unique to AdventHealth and something that you might see if you're in any of our locations, or sometimes if we forget to take them off as we walk into the grocery store or something like that. So Angela, tell us about your heart name badge and who is on yours and why.
What's one of my most favorite things to talk about. So, because I think it's very unique and it's something that AdventHealth, there's a purpose for the heart badge. So on my heart badge, now I do have a husband and I have 5 kids, but on my badge is my parents. And the reason why I chose my parents is because for myself, and just for me, the way that I try to carry myself here at AdventHealth is as servant leadership, like serving others. And that's exactly what Jesus did, right? He was a servant, even when we didn't deserve it. He's still a servant to us. And so the closest thing to Jesus that I can see about unconditional love and service are my parents. So no matter how many mistakes I made, no matter if I talked back, I was angry, I didn't do my homework, I left my clothes on the floor, my parents still served me. They still served and loved me every single day, no matter what I did. Now, if my husband leaves his clothes on the floor, or maybe, am I going to serve him the same way like that I do my children? What? He's not on here, so probably not. But your parents do. And that's the closest thing that I could get to Jesus's love here on earth. So I just chose my parents, and it reminds me of just how to serve others in a way that we were designed to serve. And my parents do that.
That's fantastic. That's so nice. We could just take a couple minutes. I know we're growing. We mentioned, or Sheila mentioned earlier, the opportunities that are opening up in clinic locations for well 65 plus. I know we have a new location coming up for Centra Care in Melbourne. Terry, remind us when that opens again.
Yeah, we set that up in May. So hopefully right after that, June.
Right around the corner. Everything's moving so quickly. Eric, any openings for sports medicine and rehab? I know we recently had 2, this past year, or a couple, actually, maybe more than 2, but 2 big ones this past year. What other locations are coming our way?
I believe we have about 5 or 6 clinics in planning, probably 10 if you look out another 2 years or so. But yeah, just recently our Lake Mary Health Park location opened, and next month we have our West Orange clinic opening. And then we'll be looking probably out in the Lake Nona area for a spot, and a second location in the Celebration area.
Wow, that's a lot of growth. And I know there are a lot of opportunities available too. And sometimes that's just because of our other partnerships and increasing the number of patients that we see too. So
yeah, Amy, if I could add, just opening the new clinics, that's great growth, but it also just allows our current teams the opportunities to move into leadership positions. It allows them to maybe move closer to their house. So it kind of creates that work-life balance as well.
That's fantastic. That's really great. I'm going to take a couple questions from our chat, just to kind of address some of the things that have come up while we've been, sharing with everyone here. Carrie Ann, are we hiring medical assistants within home health?
Currently, we are not hiring medical assistants. We just went through a huge hiring event. So what we have open currently is physical therapy and certified nursing assistants.
Okay. I know we have other areas where we will hire medical assistants, Centra Care, as well as AdventHealth Medical Group, and their opportunities are going to be on our career site. So lots of opportunities there for our MAs. We'd love to see you. Sheila, share with us, if you don't mind, how many patients will a health coach see per day, or how many patients are seen in a clinic per day within Well 65 Plus?
I think that's the beauty of it. Our physician has 2 health coaches. We see anywhere between 12 to 15 max. Normally it would be 12 patients, so it would be 6 and 6. So our health coaches, if the one's not actually in the room with the patient, they'll actually be answering the phones, making sure that they're taking care of our patients immediately, doing medication refills. We try not to leave anything pending for the next day. We try to address everything same day. So we do like to have somebody answering the patient calls while the other one's rooming, and they work as a team. And it flows very well. So that way everyone's attended to and no one's left waiting. So, but for the most part, it would be 6. Usually someone's on vacation. We have a float team, or we usually have someone in to come in and help out so that they're not by themselves. We actually also have remote healthcare partners that they do help us remotely. Those positions are filled right now, but they were medical assistants as well. Everyone likes a remote position, but yeah, they will come in. They'll actually, log in from home and help our buckets and make sure to contact our patients that are calling in.
That's a great opportunity. I'm sure as you open those new clinics, there'll be more remote positions available eventually too. So that's fantastic. Kind of a question for the group here, just to talk about the most rewarding project that they have worked on since they've been here at AdventHealth. Does anything come to mind that has been particularly, kind of really filling your bucket in terms of special projects, maybe something out of the ordinary day to day?
I'll speak to that. I see a couple questions coming in about LPNs. I just want to make sure that we do hire LPNs, and I have 2 at night shift LPN positions open. So if you want to come to the expo, that would be great, because LPNs are welcome at hospice for sure. Something that I found that's been really amazing here at hospice is we do these things, life reflection videos and memory bears. And a lot of people in the community don't know what that is. And so, like, for instance, there was an emergency room physician at Orlando that passed away in a bad car accident a couple of years ago on his shift. Now, he wasn't a patient of ours, but when I heard about it, I went to our memory bear coordinator, and we took his lab coats and made bears for his children. And so in the community, it's a huge project that we're doing right now. We're trying to touch other community members that maybe didn't have the experience of a hospice provider, but they need to have something that they can remember their loved one by. And so we have this new project called Memory Bears. We'll take their clothes, their most favorite shirt, and we'll make a bear for anyone in their family, or more than one, or whatever the case may be. So I just thought that was a huge project that I'm really proud about.
That's so special. Thank you for sharing that with us. Anybody else have anything they would like to share? Special projects, endeavors?
I know I've mentioned these community flu events and vaccine events, but just a fun kind of quick reference to, we all know that we're coming out of a little bit of a pandemic. And anyway, the nice thing about Centra Care is whatever's kind of arising in the community, what those needs are, we really do try to go with that and help support that. But we actually popped up tents in the parking lot over at the airport, and we called it the vaccine city, or tent city, because we would just pretty much, it was like several days a week where, we would just open up the parking lot gate and people would come in, and we offered free COVID vaccines. And that went on for a few months, but that was interesting. When I say pop up a tent, I mean, it was a massive operation. So nice thing about Centra Care, again, just looking for opportunities, and whatever the need is, we try to to figure out a way to meet that.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Terry. Anyone else? All right. Well, I want to just kind of bring us back through here, remind everyone of our career event, which is going to be held this time next week at the Innovation Tower. So that's next Tuesday, the 18th from 9 to 3 p.m. Again, this location at the Innovation Tower is just off of I-4 on Rollins Street at the Princeton and I-4 exit. There's ample parking, and all of our hiring leaders teams will be there to interview, make on-the-spot offers. So we're really excited to see any of you that are able to come out. If you're not able to visit us with next week, you are welcome to apply to our career page. We would love to see you at AdventHealth. We want to thank all of our panelists today for sharing their stories and their experience with us, the tips and the great resources and the things that they do to support their team members. Thank you all for your time, and appreciate everyone joining us here virtually too. Thanks for the questions and staying engaged. We'll hope to see all of you all very soon. Thanks so much and have a wonderful day.
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone.